Allen's Fire District to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please answer to the roll. Ike White. Ike White.
Yeah.
Deb Laban. Bob Wright.
Here.
Leroy Blake. Jackie Stanley.
Here.
Brooks McGugan.
Here.
Steve Rolando. Tara Lynn Durham. And Bill Thomay is here. Can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes of September 9th, please? All those in favor, say aye. Those opposed? Motion passed. Any public comments? Done? Chief's report.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Hope you are all well. We will have on our new business, first off, just to change the November meeting date from the 11th to the 12th. That'll be a Tuesday instead of a Monday. We are closed in recognition of veterans, and we have several veterans on our staff, and they should get their day of recognition. So I'll have you vote on that in new business as well too. So first one to start, last week was Fire Prevention Week. We have some events still happening this week as well too, but they had their big event on Saturday at Hawk Gap Middle School. It was well attended and received several messages on our social media and through email as well too about how much fun people had at the event. And so very appreciate the hard work of our Fire Marshal Division. They set that up and operate it with the help of our crews and personnel. So another successful event from them, and the weather was beautiful, which is good. So we know quite a bit about the devastation in North Carolina and South Carolina and parts of Tennessee and Georgia as well too. First wanted to say that I really appreciate our team members who stepped up and deployed to help serve these areas. They took time away from their family and to help those truly in need as well too. So we had deployed to a couple areas of Greenville County and kind of the surrounding area as well too. Chief Henson was deployed as part of some incident management teams as well too. So the good thing on that is we being able to deploy those areas and these events happening, we learned quite a bit because of what can happen here as well too. The other thing before I kind of touch on that is we coordinated a large community drive, and I think it was really impressive. In a day's notice, we filled up a 26-foot U-Haul truck from the bottom to the top pretty much. And thank you to our members who volunteered to drive that. That was deployed to a distribution center in Greenville as well. So we had that thing pretty much full of anything you can think of as well too. I will say that there's more needs that they have up there, particularly with cold weather coming. I think the low here is 43 Wednesday night as well too. So in the mountains, it's probably a bit chillier as well. So we're looking at doing a couple other things to help support them. So first, thank you to our community, and appreciate again our personnel helping out with that. So speaking of that, in emergency management, we continually look at these incidents that happen and how we better prepare ourselves as a district as well too. There's a beautiful little white screen over there as well that's lying on the table. Ms. Spencer's got it out here. That is a Starlink, Elon Musk company who has Tesla and they just caught a rocket out of midair. Starlink, the communications post Helene were non-existent at all. And really the only contact with the outside world was really happening through satellite radio and Starlink as well too. We have a disaster budget line item. Once Chief Henson returned back and we discussed it further, we went ahead and got a Starlink for every fire station that we have. A couple things with that. One, that connects us to our fire stations as well too. The rain will drizzle here and we lose communication with Station 3. So we need to be able to just talk to even our fire stations in the event of an emergency as well too. So we went ahead and purchased one for every station. What's nice about these as well too, though, is you pay for them when you use them. So we can kind of let them sit. We're going to have one at headquarters here that's going 24/7, but you don't have to pay the monthly subscription if you're not using it. So we can activate them. And then what we saw with Helene is Elon turned on it free for everybody in our area for a month. So that's, I think, through the end of the year even. So very helpful. So we went ahead and purchased the Starlinks. They had a special deal, I think, because of the hurricane. So they were $300 a piece. So they're $300 a piece. We went ahead and got one for each station. The other thing we saw in Helene too is those Starlinks became the community hubs for the people and the residents to talk to the outside world and update their community member or update their family members and things as well too. We can be that hub for everybody in our community the day we have a more serious storm than we had. So, speaking to that, Helene for us was kind of a little bit of the same that we've had in the past. Lots of trees down. I think we ran about 20 or so calls and did pretty well with the storm on our end. Definitely could have been far worse for us. The other part of that, the high water vehicle, Seabrook Island gave us some money last year to procure a high water vehicle. That RFP is out right now. It is due October 31st. We plan to present that to you for decision at the November meeting as well, so we can move forward with a contract for that and get that deployed as well too. We had several new recruits that finished the St. Paul Academy, all graduated, which is great. 2 of our members won awards. Patrick Brown won the Order of the Maltese for exemplary leadership and continuous positive attitude. And then also member William Cantaloupes won the Pride of the Battalion, which is an award given by the instructors for leadership, integrity, determination, good values. So there were positive comments about all of our personnel that finished. They're already out on the line and on shift and learning from our members as well too. So congratulations to them and welcome to St. John's. We're in the process of scheduling engineer testing and the next round of captain testing. We'll discuss upcoming finance meeting. We'll discuss the audit, but I'll give you just a hint. It was clean again. So, but we'll discuss a couple things from that are all good on that as well too. Chief Prowse, would you run through a couple incident statistics for us?
Good afternoon, everyone. The September monthly totals, 345. We're down approximately 400 calls reduction from the previous month, which is a great sign. The breakdown by island, Johns Island carrying 198 of those calls, Kiowa Island with 66, Seabrook with 45, and Wadmalaw with 36. Just a special note, over the weekend, we were dispatched to a water rescue over on Seabrook Island. It was a K-9 family member, but our crews deployed swimmers into the water and we had a successful outcome with that. So we're very proud of that accomplishment yesterday. With that, I'll field any questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Teresa, would you give your HR report?
Hi, everybody. Good to see you. First, I have very exciting news. I'd like to introduce our HR assistant, Stephanie Neal. So welcome to Stephanie. Her background is amazing. Maybe we'll send you her bio. She's a previous a detective and a crime scene investigator, all kinds of great stuff. So we're really excited. And her spouse was a firefighter previously. So we're really happy to have her. I'm really happy to have her. For sure. Just on the recruiting a little bit, we have a new firefighter started on the 7th. Jessica, actually she's a rehire. Jessica Garrison, her name was Barry when she was here before. So she started and is all back up to speed. We have a paramedic that is starting on the 28th. Our first paramedic. So we're very excited about her, even better, right? And then we're still interviewing, Danielle and I are still interviewing for accounting manager. We just haven't found the right person. We don't want to settle. We're going to find the right person. And we had one resignation that was effective on October 2nd. Nobody on workers' comp or anything else, really. Any questions?
Quick question.
Yes.
Chief said earlier that firefighters came online on shift. How much openness do we have left?
We're fully staffed, like I heard.
We're fully staffed at the firefighter position.
Yep.
We have 2 engineer openings or 3 Chief Prowse would. I know there's 2 captain openings.
Yes, sir.
There's 2 captains that are the floater positions. So they were the overhires that we changed in the budget. We still have 2 captains that we're going to do the next round of captain testing for. And then engineer is 3 or 4.
We have 1 line engineer and then 3 floater position engineers that we can fill still. So But yes, we are full across the board on firefighter.
I'm knocking some wood for that.
So that would give us 6 total right now, but it's
And
at the
2
captain
paramedics.
and engineer
And we need 2 more paramedics.
Yeah. in those paramedic positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Next thing I want to talk about a little bit is a bit of a sensitive item, but yeah, I felt it was important for me to bring it to the commission's attention and also discuss this from my perspective as well too. So if you weren't aware, there's a group on Facebook called John's Island Unfiltered. You can find an assortment of different things on there to discuss and talk about as well, but I'll leave it at that. Somebody had went on back a couple weeks ago, made a Facebook post specifically about me regarding the response to one of our members' sons that died. And I want to say it's important that that those listening in the public know about this, and particularly that you guys as the commission know that this was happened. This was a pretty inflammatory post directed straight at me. So I want to just clear up a couple things on there. And I apologize if I'm a little long-winded here, but we had a member of our department, his 8-year-old son passed away after a long illness. And what happened to him is a tragedy. And we as a department have stepped up to help him in any way we can. Lots of our members have really shouldered that member and their family as well too. No parent should really have to bury their child at all. And I'm frustrated because somebody has used the death of a child to exploit lies or concoct a story in their head about what happened afterwards. And frankly, I think that's inappropriate and sad. The post, if you haven't seen it, I have a copy if anybody wants to see it, but was made by an Anthony Groves. We do not have an Anthony Groves that works here or has ever worked here. It was a fake Facebook profile somebody's hiding behind. Okay. A couple things. I had a commissioner ask about putting the information out that this child had passed away. My process on that is I do not share anybody's personal information without asking them first. Very few times have I ever sent an email out that is about somebody's baby being born or a death or anything like that. Some people are deeply personal, and I respect that of there. And we have had instances, particularly last year, where we shared information we shouldn't have, and it hurt that person. And I'm not going to do that again. So we had discussed that. And once I'd obtained permission from that member to send it to the department after a couple of days, we sent that notification out as well. We found out that this member's son passed on a Saturday. One of the things that was put in this Facebook post was that we weren't going to have personnel attend, that only 3 people could attend. At no time was that ever discussed whatsoever. On Monday, the child unfortunately passes on a Saturday. On Monday, Chief Henson discusses with the deputy chiefs on his Monday morning call to say, hey, we don't know when the funeral is, but we are going to cover it. If you guys can help us cover it, please do. And all of our response partners said, no problem, we will do that. We find out about the funeral arrangements on Thursday afternoon. Right after that happens, Chief Prowse sends an email to our battalion chiefs that says, we are backfilling our stations with our partner agencies. I'm putting together the list of assignments right now. So it was always our intent to have our personnel at the funeral if they wanted to attend. Later that night, an employee sent an email. We have an operations email address that, says, everybody in the district should be allowed to attend. You should all go, with some capital letters. That was already done. We had already completed that as well too. So want to make sure that is the correct information for this person. So the other thing was there's a claim in here that I was at the bar during the memorial and funeral service as well too. So on Friday evening, the funeral is on a Saturday. On Friday evening, my wife and I are at the Sanctuary Hotel. We go down to the pool bar before dinner. We're there for our 10-year anniversary. We go down to the pool bar. When I'm sitting at the pool bar, we couldn't have been there more than 2 minutes. A lady passes out at the table next to us and cries out for help. I need help. And this lady passes out. She'd given blood. Anyway, I start providing aid to that person, actually called 911 to have our crews meet us in the right location as well too. Of course, our personnel is there. I am there at the pool bar, celebrating the time with my wife. I had a decision to make that weekend. My decision was we had planned, my wife and I had plans on Saturday as well too, that we paid for ahead of time. And I made a personal decision to commit my time to my wife that weekend. Every single person on this fire department with our schedule and how we operate is 365. Every minute of the day, the incidents choose us. We do not choose them. And everybody, including the people in this room, the members of my command staff, give up things to their family. We've missed holidays. We've missed dinners. We've missed birthday parties as well too. And it's a hard thing to do as well too. Some may not agree with that decision I made. We had members of the command staff that represented us at that as well too. So I made that decision and committed to my wife that day. She has sacrificed as well too. So I had another commissioner call and ask about the flowers. That was another issue raised in here. We knew about the funeral on Thursday. Miss Teresa said, I will take care of the flowers and I will have them there Saturday before the funeral. Those flowers were there Saturday at the funeral. We did them as fast as we possibly could to get them there. Thank you, Miss Teresa, for taking care of that. And I just want to say, this is the second time this has happened now. Somebody's went on and either they're misinformed or they decide to spread lies. And, I want all of our personnel to know too, if there's a direct issue with me, you have the ability to talk to HR and you have the ability to talk to this commission as well too. So you can come to me and get the right and accurate information, or we can discuss if there's a problem as well too. And we can have fruitful discussions about that. One person's fake profile doesn't fairly reflect the fabric of this department. And these people are hardworking public servants. I say that's my spiel. I appreciate you listening and I'm happy to answer any questions around it. If not, that's the end of my.
I do have something.
Yes.
Chief, I want to thank you for coming forth and being open with the commission and the public. I would just encourage this individual, if they really do have issues, to come to a meeting and discuss it with the commission. We're open. We're always open to the public. So please come and voice your concerns. Thank you.
I want to be clear. We've had we have employees that come and talk and have issues, whether they're perceived or real. And we've always had an open door. We've never turned down a meeting with anybody as well too. I don't anticipate everybody agreeing with me on the decisions that are made. We make hard decisions on our employees sometimes. And, but we've never turned down the conversation as well too. So.
Thank you, Chief, for sharing that with us. Appreciate it. Okay, financial report.
That's me again.
You're still
so
up.
I'll start. Miss Danielle is at a conference, so I'll go over the highlights as well too. So we closed on our bond. That is for our next fire stations and apparatus stuff as well too. You'll see that reflected. The go bond bank balance of 17 million. We actually closed on 19 million, but we've already spent some of that money on some closing fees and then also apparatus we've already paid for as well too. So that's why that number is at 17. We do have some money left in the go bond balances from the previous bonds as well too. 2023 balance, some of that goes for architecture for the next stations, which we'll talk about here in a minute as well too. So our overall operating expense budget goal is 75%. We are at 75%. So we're right on track for the year too. And that included this last month, we had some larger expenses as well too. We had to fix a ladder truck. That's the ladder. How do you want to say that correctly? It was coming off. A little bit. So I authorized a $14,000 repair to get that. It's one of our main reserves as well too. So we're on budget. Our September collection was quite a bit, our August collection was quite a bit more than previous fiscal year as well too. Non-standard OT was lower as well too at 77 $12,000 there. So happy to answer any questions financially related.
Okay.
Thank you.
Attorney's update.
Send me their amendment to that. I got my rules. I've done it like an umbrella, have not me. I do have update to the commission, it's appropriate, if the wishes to legislation update on the negotiation with the water. But other than that, y'all are, things you do.
Okay, thank you. Any unfinished or old business? None? We have a couple of new business items here. First is the selection of proposals for district employee compensation restructuring.
Yes, Chairman. We had last meeting and through HR committee meetings discussed the need for a consultant to help us with a compensation restructuring plan, particularly for our operations division as well. Those that RFP, which was we discussed last month, was sent out. We sent it to 4 companies. I had back and forth with 3 of the 4 companies, but we wound up only having 1 company submit. The good thing though is I really like the proposal that that this company put together. They work with a lot of fire departments specifically. And that is McGrath Human Resources Consultant. The total cost of that consultant fee is $12,255. So if you do choose to approve that, it's McGrath Human Resources at $12,255. And
I have 2, I guess, observations or questions. First of all, they're not in South Carolina, so I don't know if there's going to be any state laws, and I imagine Spencer would help us, but as they're doing this, something from a South Carolina standpoint.
Sure.
And then secondly, when I was looking at their timeline, I'm hoping that they're wrapping it up enough for us to finalize our budget, because our budget keeps on getting earlier and earlier to be submitted to the county. So that was the only other observation. But
Sure.
other than that, I thought the proposal was done.
So as part of that, I talked to this specific company, had some questions of my own. They're very familiar with the FLSA, which is Fair Labor Standards Act, which is very tricky for firefighters. It's not your common, it's not your common English really. And they are very experienced with that as well too. And really, it's really governed at a federal level. So the South Carolina, it's not too totally different. So that's not too much of a concern of mine. The timeline was 4 to 5 months, and I think I have a feeling that they've done this a lot, so it's kind of just getting that in process. I think we should be able to have a firm plan before budget season. So we're already kind of working on next year. So
If there's no other questions, I'd like to make a motion to approve this proposal.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passed.
thank you, and I'll speak for our personnel. They will thank you as well too. So just guessing.
Second item, new business, as Chief mentioned earlier, to say anything more about the
Nope.
position. Basically it's we're looking at asking if we can change the November meeting date, commission meeting date from the 11th of November, which is on date to Tuesday, the next day, 12th. Any discussion about that at all? Okay, can I have a motion to make that change? All right, did move and seconded to change the commission meeting from November 11th to 12th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passed.
Make sure that those meet FOIA requirements.
Yes. Okay. Moving on to committee reports, the building committee. We did not have a building committee meeting this month. A good portion of the time in the past few weeks has been spent by our consultant, David Myers, in putting together requests for proposals, requests for qualifications, rather, RFQs, from architects for Station 5, the rebuilding of Station 5 out here. So that RFQ request is out and the proposals are due on October 29th. So at that time, we'll have a building committee meeting and review all those proposals and likely trim it down to 2 or 3 architects and then have interviews, so forth. So that's the plan right now, depending on how many proposals we get actually. Here. Yes, we elected not to do both stations with the same architect, but they'll be done essentially at about the same time.
So that'd be included in the Station 5 design. Yep.
Right.
So essentially just 2 different Station 5 and Kiowa River, but that Station 5 would include the entire site design and master plan and everything.
The current thinking is to keep the existing Station 5 in operation while the new one is being built adjacent to it and then make the transition over. So, yeah. Okay. Anything else? That's all I have on building committee. Finance committee?
We didn't have a finance committee meeting, but we are going to have an audit meeting on Wednesday, October 30th at 10 a.m. here at headquarters. And I am trying to get a copy of the audit report from our auditors prior to the meeting to share with all of you.
I have it. I forgot to send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any questions for finance? Human resources?
Maybe not any.
Okay. Strategic planning? Nothing. All right. Any firefighter comments? Okay. Commissioner comments. Start with Ike.
I'd like to, from forward to get out of that, video rest there. Keep us informed of what's going on. I really like that. Also, I'd like to give, thanks to all the personnel who went out and helped our neighbors up here in North Carolina. Chief Henson, whoever it was that was guilty. It makes you feel good that you help someone. I really appreciate that. They want to be a part of the same. And I'd like to say welcome forward. And hopefully you'll have a very long stay. And also, yes. And I'd like to say welcome to the new employees that just got hired. And it's impressed that our firefighters here pulled up. That's good to hear. And that's all I have to say. Yeah, thank you.
Brooks.
I'd certainly like to commend the chief for being forthright forward on this issue as well as last year. I found him to be approachable, honest, with some transparency that kind of impression in this world today. Certainly appreciate that. Chief Ensign and I appreciate you taking the crews up there, spending that time. St. John's does out of the reaching out to our neighbors and I'm sure they appreciate it. Welcome aboard. Let's keep up the good work.
Bob.
I echo both Brooks and Ike's comments. I think sending the crew up to Lincoln is necessary. People were devastated.
Okay, Terlyn.
I too would like to piggyback on as well, and like to say congratulations and welcome our new members and our fully staff, and thank everyone for the service you've done. I do have a question regarding the lawn service street. What's going on with that?
Maintenance. Yeah, it's not looking good. Yeah, it's definitely on our radar as well. So the issue we're running into is that they're good with cutting the grass and stuff, but it's those it's those long beds and stuff as well too. We've gotten some quotes from a couple companies to come help us do that. We just haven't pulled the trigger on that, but we'll reevaluate that and go. Yes, it's something our personnel at maintenance, they've got a lot on their plate right now as well too. Pulling the weeds shouldn't be one of them. But we've got a couple quotes. We just hadn't kind of given the okay yet, but we'll go ahead and move forward with that. So didn't have that stuff budgeted, so we're just trying to be mindful of that as well too. So that
This quote's going to include replacing dead plants and stuff. So
well, we still have the dead plants are within a year of our so
next question.
so we'll let everything die. Well, honestly, it's bad. Okay. We will let the plants kind of run their course over the next however long. When it gets closer to next spring, we'll kind of come back and maybe do some replanting, but agreed that it is looking bad.
I think
Yeah.
something like that, so.
Yeah, sometimes, it's the, like the rules are like, we didn't need all of that, but they tell us we have to have it. So that's a rule, Charleston County. So yeah, it's a lot to take care of.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, we'll get on it.
Jack.
I'd like to echo what everyone is saying. They've said, repeating everything. I definitely want to commend the chief and staff hiring the new personnel. For years here, we have openings, 10 to 20 openings. It's amazing that we have no openings in firefighters. Y'all are doing something right, and that we need to maintain that, and that's a good thing. And welcome. To have fun. These guys will treat you right? And that's about it. Thank you.
Steve?
I also would like to echo everything that's been said and welcome.
Hey, Deb?
Welcome, Stephanie. It'll be fun.
It will be fun.
We have a bunch of stuff for her to do. So
Yeah, I bet you do. So I'm wrapping up my 9th year with the commission. And in the 9 years I've been here, we've never had all the firefighter positions filled. So not only am I impressed that they're filled, but the quality of the new firefighters and them, winning awards at training, I'm just really impressed. So again, obviously you're doing something right. So thank you. I also, on the whole Facebook posting, I think it's a shame that people hide behind, false names and they don't get the whole story and they try to slam. And I know, again, from being here 9 years, how hard everybody here works. And I know you drop everything when the incident requires it. And I think it's a shame that every once in a while you need to put your spouse first. Make your marriage work. So shame on that person. And if they're brave enough to come forward, they should come and talk to us about, what issues they really have. But I'm thoroughly impressed with the chief. And, I would defend him to the nth degree that he's doing a great job. He's brought on a lot of quality team members. And, I just think that we're moving in the right direction. And obviously these people that hide behind false names, they aren't well informed. So
I could just add one thing. I've never known the chief not to be transparent. And I think that's a good quality that you bring to the district. So I'll just leave it at that.
And
Thank you.
I can't add to those comments that have already been made. So it's a tough act to follow. I agree with everything that's been said. So, sure.
We got support from the chief of building up there. They actually operated in the fire district and so very person. Appreciate it.
Yep. Sure.
This was one of the larger mobilization efforts that the state's probably seen in quite some time, probably since Carolina Forest Fire, something like that. But so, when we had Tropical Storm Debbie, Greenville County came here. We went to Greenville County. So we've got great relationships with our state partners. And I'll say this, our state And what our state fire marshal's office doing as an emergency management is probably the best in the country. People are looking at us and what we're doing. So just throwing that out there.
Having a ladder truck. City of Charleston Fire.
Yeah, it's been there. We actually talked about that a little bit last meeting too. It's been there for quite some time. This county has an issue with ladder trucks. We seem to be the only one that keeps them in service. So kudos to our maintenance department, but I'm sure our day is coming. Like I said, we just had they had two of ours on loan. And the one had an issue that we had to get fixed as well. But there'll be a day when we'll be kind of in the same position because there'll be a full moon again here soon. So it is a good little billboard. A little billboard out there. I'd say we'd leave applications in there, but there we don't have any spots for them. So it's so just kidding.
You can have a wait list.
That's well, we had, I know, Commissioner McGugan, we inquired about somebody that applied, I think last meeting and stuff, but we have a list of people. I just have nowhere to put them.
Okay, can I have a motion to go into executive session to get some attorney advice? Oh, there's a second, and all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, motion passed. We will adjourn to Regular session is back in session. We had made no decisions, took no votes in executive session. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second. Okay, all those in favor? Say aye. Meeting adjourned.